thanks to all the team for giving me this opportunity to speak in this forum. This is very much learned and known forum. I hope today I will also learn something great from all of you. I've shared my screen as the topic is knowledge series, forensic investigation, use of Benish model and other methods. My major focus will be on Benish model, how to use this in the process of forensic audit.
Satya Prakash, your voice is absolutely is a feeble. Like, can you just enhance the voice, or like have the
is it okay?
mic closer to yourself?
Yeah, is it okay now, sir?
Yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah. Okay, might be some issue with the mic, but I hope this will work.
Yeah.
No issue. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope my slide is visible to everyone.
Yes.
Yes. To start with, I'm getting a lot of. Shall I admit the people continuously?
You can just ignore that. We will do that for you. Yeah.
Yep, because that's coming constantly on the screen. You can see that.
You can ignore that. We'll take care of that.
Yeah. To start with, my slides I have just kept in this structure. Introduction, models, more introduction about forensic audit and financial statement frauds. Then models of data analysis, my major focus, which is on Benish model, for which we may try to do some hands-on. I have taken Sun Pharma, and if time permits, we'll also go ahead with Prabhat Dairy. I have kept some slides for information related to Benford law analysis and some money trail related slides. I'll request people to freely ask questions. That will be much better for everyone. More questions will be better for discussion. Good. I hope this is visible. Okay with this, because then I can see the chats also. Aditya, is it okay?
Yeah, that's fine with us. And on the chat, in case there is anything which is coming up on the chat as a question, we'll let you know about it. So,
yeah. But I think Mr. Jaiswal, it would be better if you can make it in a presentation mode.
Yeah.
Okay, then I cannot see the chat. Then I'll keep this.
So if there is anything which I need to update you on the chat, we'll let you know about that.
Okay.
So if there's any specific question on the chat, we'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. Then let me proceed. Then I'm starting with this financial statement fraud. Basically nowadays, lot many frauds are happening and all the money is involved mostly in financial statements. So I'm just discussing it slightly. Financial statement frauds, as this is maintained, it is a deliberate misrepresentation of financial condition of an enterprise accomplished through intentional misstatement or omission. And the major objective is to deceive the financial end user of the financial statements. It is mostly done in the common areas, that is fictitious revenue, timing differences, concealed liabilities or expenses, improper disclosure, related party transactions. That is obviously you will know it only through the money trail, improper asset valuations. As per ACFE, they have also mentioned that improper revenue recognition, including fictitious revenue and timing differences, accounts for half of financial statement frauds. So obviously, you can understand financial statements. If you read properly, it will help you to a great extent. From a layman's perspective, normally people, what they manipulate revenues, profits or assets, they overstate it. While losses, expenses and liabilities are typically understated, basically to show the rosy pictures. Correct? I'm jumping to the next slide. The probability of manipulation increases with how to view. The probability of manipulation increases with unusual increase in receivables, deteriorating gross margins. Obviously, if profit decreases, people will thought to increase, manipulate that. So for a better picture, decreasing asset quality, unusual sales growth. This may or may not turn out to be a fraud, but it is a good indicator if it is done in such COVID type of scenarios. Then next comes increasing accruals. So you can understand that there is a systematic relationship between the likelihood of manipulation and financial statement variables. So it suggests that accounting data are useful in detecting manipulation and assessing the reliability of accounting earnings. Right. So basically, the major focus here, I am just thinking just to give a brief, as Manoj sir also said, to discuss this. So if you're getting a forensic audit, how you're going to start with? So I normally suggest the people to start with reading the balance sheet, P&L, and notes to accounts. If you read this audited financial statements at a glance, then you get a good insight about the how to start. That is what we are just going to do it in two ways. First, we are going to do it using the Banish model, how this model works. And second, how to read it like a normal chartered accountant, because we know the numbers better than anybody else. So here, my first topic, that is the Banish model. Till now, any questions, please? Aditya, you will update me, right?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Banish model. It was modeled by, I'm not going much in detail with this. It was modeled by Mr. Banish in 1999. It is a mathematical model which is created based on the data from audited financial statements. The variables are constructed from the company's financial statement, and once calculated, it creates an M score. The M score is here, the benchmark is minus 2.22. That is the benchmark created by the Mr. Banish. All these M score is composed of 8 ratios that will capture either financial statement distortions or that can result or predisposition to engage in earning manipulations. So basically it is created from whether how manipulation can be done. Just for information, you can see that he has created 2 variables, 2 equations, 5 variable equations and 8 variable equations. You have to use this depending on the data availability, because all the 8 variables may not be available in every scenario. So that is why he has given 5 variables as well as 8 variables. What are these variables? That we'll discuss in the next slide. The M score. He simply said that there is a M score, which is the benchmark minus 2.22. So if the M score is less than minus 2.22, it suggests that company is not an accounting manipulator. Just for information, minus 5 is less than minus 2.22. Similarly, an M score is greater than minus 2.22. It signals that company is likely to be an accounting manipulator. As simple as this.
So, Satya, do we have, like, when we speak about model, so like this looks like so many terminologies used. Do we have any example on this, that any companies, how does that appear?
Yes, sir. That is what we are going to discuss with these Sun Pharma or Prabhat Dairy as an example. And let me just clear my side that I am taking this company because already SEBI has initiated forensic audit in this. So from a chartered accountant's perspective, I just wanted to see whether we can, being the outsider, can find out some red flags.
Because this
data, that was the objective.
This decimal does not click anything to.
No, that's not. We will see. We'll come to this. I'm just running through this PPT. Then we'll go to the hands-on for a better understanding. Right? And what are these variables? So for that purpose, I'm going to the next slide. Here you can see first variable, days sales receivable index. Here you can see current year and CY current year and previous year data. We are comparing that. Basically, it's simply saying that if there is a disproportionate increase in the receivables related to sales, it may suggest that there is a revenue inflation. Normally, it is a benchmark is greater than 1 for all the variables. It means that compared to previous year, the current year receivable is high. Larger increase in sales receivables, may indicate that there is a higher likelihood that revenue or earnings have been overstated. This we can see, good example is the Sun Pharma. You can see something in this. Then comes gross margin index. Again, here it is a previous year compared to the current year. Again, every year is a 2 years. Banish model is created based on 2 years financial statement data. Greater than 1 means gross margin is worsened in the current year. With consequence, the company is likely to manipulate, obviously, for the better picture, otherwise stock prices will be affected badly. Then positive, there is a positive relation between gross margin index and probability of earning manipulation. Similarly, asset quality. Shall I go to the direct example? That will be better.
Yeah, I think that is better.
Because these people can read at their own leisure. All the
with the example, if you can refer back on the formula, so that will help understand this, because these numbers,
Perfect. No issue. That's why. So I'm not going to benefit now. I'm just changing the slide now. I'm coming back to my screen where I've created some data for Sun Pharma. Let me go to that. For your reference, I've kept the annual report also. This is the model which I have created. Means obviously I am using the word I have created because earlier model, the original model is this smaller one, which you can see normally in the Google also for Vanish. This is the data basically. Normally this M score is created based on these small variables taken obviously from the audited financial statement. Is it visible, everyone? I hope the size is okay.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. So I'm just for M score, it needs 2 years of data. So it is going to compare 2 years of data with each other. The individual variables are here. You can see days sales receivable index, gross margin index, asset quality, sales growth index, depreciation index, sales general and admin expenses, total assets, total accruals, leverage index. That's okay. What I have done, I have just linked all the variables here. That is the model is basically. Your job is just to give the inputs here. Your job is just to give the input at this place. Once you give the input, model will automatically calculate the values and final variable will come here. This is what the formula which we have seen in the PPT. Right? I'm doing Control Z. So these are the values which I have entered. From a layman's perspective, if I have to manipulate any company's data, so for people, why manipulate? Obviously, to show the good picture, good results, good profit. So what they are going to do? So Aditya, can you take a lead? Can you suggest something? If I have to manipulate this, then which the number I will prefer to manipulate?
See, basically, it's always the sales value. If I increase it, or if I increase some asset value, or not charging it to the PNL, those kind of things are always done to increase our financials balance sheet.
So either the asset part or the sales. Just as I have shown you that all these the number is linked. Here you can see the ratio is already there, current year, previous year values. If I just change this number, say I change this, my sales doubled this year in 2017. You can see immediately there is a change in the variable, the value. You can see this is greater than minus 2.22. This indicates that as per Mr. Banich, the benchmark minus 2.22, this indicates that number has been manipulated.
So these may be called as an indicator to further investigate, but we cannot say that this company is doing a fraud, right?
No, never.
Yeah, so
you
they can be a reason.
Jump to the, yes.
There can be an expansion in the project which may have got implemented in the month of say January, so that is increasing my turnover during the last quarter of the year.
Right. So in order to answer your question, shall I complete the two more slides? That will be better.
Yes, sir. There's one more question which we got from Mr. Ashwani Agarwala. He says the corporates also must be knowing about the Banich model.
100%.
They can also know how to manipulate for maintaining the ratio.
My process, sir, over the years, 5 years, though I can say I have a small experience of 5 years in forensic audit, you can manipulate some things, but you cannot manipulate consistently for over the years. Hardly 3 to 4 years you can manipulate, else it will come out of that. It is sure.
Yeah, that's a nice question, because like when I see these, this equation is not that complicated.
Yeah, 100% it is not. But it is going to affect you, cover you somewhere else. That will be best is to see in the live case. Before that, I just explained you two things. That is the limitation. This analysis is
I would like to add something. Yeah, I'm Devabrata from Reserve Bank of India. See, you can
Morning, sir.
manipulate. Yeah, hi, good morning, Mr. Satyaprakash. See, you can manipulate those inputs, but the supporting documents like the stock statements or something that you cannot manipulate. So you need to also.
Sir, you can manipulate. Sir, you can manipulate. Sir, you can manipulate.
Okay,
Sir, people manipulate. That is what the fraud happens, sir.
okay, okay,
Some people
okay.
know. They will tell, sir, is a AGM in. Sir, still AGM?
Yeah, yeah, I'm awaiting my call actually. So still AGM.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's AGM in RBI. He is in inspection department. He was in inspection department doing the RBS for various banks.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the generous introduction.
No, sir, it is a team also. They should know. Most of the people are from the banks. So they should know that you are there.
Good to see you here, sir.
Okay.
Most welcome, and we'll definitely.
Aditya was in ICSI, sir, and he still is in American Express Bank.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
great, great.
So currently, I'm with Bank of America. So yeah.
Bank of America, sorry, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Please carry on with the yeah.
Let me complete the limitation first, then we'll go to the hands-on. Limitations, simply it is because the analysis is done based on the limited information provided in financial statements and the footnotes. So it is possible that if you just manipulate those numbers carefully, as this question was also raised by Mr. Agarwal, that possibly this may not reflect the correct picture, 100%, yes. Right, and similarly, this cannot be applied to financial companies like mostly banks because unavailability of all variables required for analysis. Right, so we have to be very much careful. Third point, Aditya said the company might be booming. That is why the model is based on index variables. So there is a chance that a certain companies, that is growth company, is extremely high for some years, which may not be due to earning manipulation. So that is what you have to take care of before coming to any conclusion. And the last part, which I'll just say, there has to be absolute care taken by the fraud expert when making a conclusion, that because you can make two types of errors. One, possibility you can view a manipulator company as a non-manipulator, or you can view a non-manipulator as a manipulator. So you always use your skeptical mind. That will I'll keep it as a second part of being a chartered accountant, reading the numbers. So we are not going to solely rely on the Banish model alone. We are also going to apply our own analysis style. Right, sir? Is it clear, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm jumping to my second part. So let's go to the hands-on. This is the model. Originally was this. You have to just plot the inputs. These are the inputs. If you manipulate this, the model will highlight you whether the number is greater than minus 2.22 or not. Individual variables also shows you which area probably is creating major effect. So if I can see just this number, it may not show you that which area is basically manipulated here. So if I look at the individual area here, you can see is day sales receivable index. If I look at this, this is mainly coming from net sales and net receivables. So my major effect is sales and receivables. Second area, gross margin index. Again, net sales, cost of goods. So you can get a better idea which area. Sales growth index, again you can see sales, net sales. So obviously you got an idea that which area has been probably manipulated, right? Without telling much. So you know where you have to focus. That is what you can see common is sales. That is what we have to start with ultimately in your audit. Coming to this, I have enlarged this model based on my requirement. So this is the model which I created. I enlarged this based on individual data availability. Earlier till 2012, the version was very good. So now I have to do a lot of manual data entry. And these are the various variables and the output. The structure. And you can see the 5 variable and 8 variables. The formula is already there. Right, sir?
So, Satya, when you have this analysis done, and we have these ratios. What is an approach you take when it comes to do a forensic audit? How do you start, in the sense
Right.
what area you will pick? So like on your example of Sun Pharma, maybe you can highlight few areas wherein we can just see that, yeah, this is showing an indication and there is a compensating ratio which is getting impacted. If that kind of understanding you can give,
Yeah.
and
So,
a focus area for that.
okay, sir. So my first objective, like you can see, I've just deployed this. I created separate variables for you. This was the ultimate objective. So you can see daily sales receivable index. It's showing me there is a variable, and this is the points mentioned. So we'll discuss this later on. For this was my structure which I created. Now my job is to input the data. Audited financial statement. This data I got took from simply taken from the moneycontrol.com. They have the better information available in the better structure. So less of data entry. But in recent update, they have removed this depreciation portion from the balance sheet, accumulated depreciation, and also some more information, power and fuel. So this is not there in the breakup part. So it is available in the schedules. So this is what the structure. My job is to input the data, all these sources. Clear, sir?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just demonstrate 2-3 things, and then we'll go to the directly to the final version, which is available here. I already created, so that will save some time. For example, I want sales, so I'm simply going to link, that is power and fuel is not separately available. Now, employee cost. Earlier it was available. Other expenses. Like this, you have to, then I manually entered this data for power and fuel from the schedules. So it is capturing all the inputs. This I created the spark line, a mini chart in cells, so it will help you to identify the flow of the numbers. And like this, we have to enter all the variables, and it is simply going to calculate some ratios. I'm jumping to the final output. I'm not running through showing you how to enter all the other data that we all know where the value will be. And this is the final output structure, which we can discuss. So you can see I've just entered all the values one by one. From the company, the variables, and you can see the output. So it shows that in 2018, some numbers it's showing you, and you can see minus 1.76.
So can live session not occur? Live session not occur.
2011, I'm just hiding for the time being. I'll hide more when the time required. So you can see Vanish model is showing that in 2018, the ratio is greater than minus 2.22. That is 1.76 here. So which are the variables? You can see there are many one which is greater than 1, which is highlighted in pink color. So there are chances that you need to understand why these numbers are high.
So like all of these items which appears in pink, we need to go and ask for the investigation
Yes.
on. So
Information
what?
is required for review.
So what do we do when we have to investigate? Like, do I ask books of accounts,
Yes, obviously,
documents?
sir. We have to ask for all the data, backup documents based on which this is created.
Hmm.
And more granular the data is better for the purpose of analysis.
But these
So
financials are already audited. So like when we do an investigation of an audited financials, what level of investigation, to what extent you go?
you have to assume you have to start from zero, sir. It doesn't mean that the something which is audited doesn't mean that it is 100% correct.
Hmm.
So my simple assumption, you can say that if I start any work, I assume that if the case has come for forensic investigation, it means there is something fraud. Then only I'll come to some conclusion then whether the company is manipulating or not. If you are going to assumption that company is very good, excellent, then obviously you may not be anything of that. Because in the back of mind you have to think like an investigator. Such like old word, kuch to gadbad hai.
So what did you find in this? Like in case
Yeah,
when I pick up this
that's
Sun
what, sir.
Pharma.
I'm coming to this. Before that, we'll just discuss about this news article which was published in 2019 that SEBI has initiated the forensic audit of this company, and they asked for the investigation for 3 years, 16, 17, and 18. 3 years. What was the issue? So obviously, that for that purpose, I highlighted that it is 16, 17, 18. I may go ahead with 1 year before that also 15. So my track will be 15, 16, 17, 18. 4 financial years for the purpose of analysis. So my focus is on 4 years. So I can go back 1 more year. Going much ahead of that will not make much difference because review period is 3 years. Okay. So to start with, so if I am the investigator, how I'm going to start? So I'll take 4 years, not 3. In this, what was the issue? Major issue is that money. They have observed that 5,800 crore rupees were taken and generated has been transferred somewhere. And so, right, so money has been paid. So this is what. To coming at this variables now. So what this says. So I'm coming to variables individually. We have the M score. My focus area is 2015 to 18. What this variable suggests. Here, my first variable, base sales receivable index. Here you can see, I'm just highlighting it more. My target area, you know this years. So, disproportionate first variable, base sales receivable index. Disproportionate increase in receivables related to sales may be suggestive of inflation. So what has happened in this case of a company? In this company, you can see the sales is increasing or almost constant. But your debtors is increasing and drastically increasing. You can see till 2018. Right? So you can see the hint. Hello, Aditya, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you
it
can
just
see the what
increased in. It just increased in 1 year. You mean it has doubled from 17 to 18. After that, it has
Yes.
been stable.
Yeah, then it is stable. Then that question should come, no, in our mind. How it is
Correct.
possible? Whether the company is getting the money back, means out of 8,000 crore if you are selling and 2,000 crore is 5,000 crore is outstanding, how you are running your company?
Yeah. So maybe there is a change in the terms and condition on the.
Anything
Yeah.
can do. I'm not saying that something fraud is there, but you need to investigate that how this suddenly has increased. Because sudden cannot be. And I'm relying on this data because it is published data directly taken from moneycontrol.com. Just for a reference check, I'm just showing you the number. Trade receivables, you can see the number. So I have not changed any numbers. So you can see the hint is coming. That number is drastically increased compared to the previous years. And obviously, as it states that large increase in base receivable index is associated with higher likelihood that revenue and earnings are overstated. Simple. I hope this point clear.
Okay.
Yeah. Coming to this gross margin. Gross margin again is showing that it is deteriorating. Means if it is greater than 1, means it is worsened in the current year. But in this scenario, it is not featuring. So margin is not an issue in this situation, and that is why I have not highlighted. But in the past year, it was slightly, especially in 2014. Then coming to this next variable, asset quality index, you can see this again, not much effect, greater than 1. So cost difference, not much asset created in that period. The assets are almost constant. Coming to this net sales growth index, again greater than 1 index gets positive growth, less than negative index. Obviously growth does not imply manipulation, but growth firms to be viewed whether there is a fraud or some manipulation. Because if growth declines, obviously, then it is going to affect the stock price. So that is the point. We have to see here what is the comparison, and you can see the growth from this 4 years, last 4 years, it is constantly showing good growth. Obviously, this year it is possible because of the COVID, but what about the other years? If it is constant, good, then it is better. So sales again needs to be reviewed. So first portion we found receivables, we can see sharp increase. So we need to identify who are those receivables. Second part is sales. Then comes depreciation index. Here only issue comes in the 1 year, that is 2017. And because of this, in this year basically they have written off some assets. And back because of that it is coming this. So I'm not taking that into consideration. My next variable, again sales general and administrative expense index. Again here you can notice the expenses proportion increase over the years. Why sudden increase? Normally this type of expenses and increase to pay off the money or to siphon out. Similar allegation has been done in the case of Prabhat Dairy also. So you can see the indicators better. Then comes accruals, not much movement here.
Satya, your voice is getting feeble. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then comes leverage index. Again, you can see the leverage has increased in these years. Total assets to total liabilities, it has increased. Obviously, again an indicator as per Mr. Banish for the purpose of review. So you can see Banish is giving us some indicators that some variables looks like has been manipulated. And you also said in the beginning also either sales, profit or assets. So you can see in this case, you can see the assets. We can see the sales and we can see the margin. But margin was not much here, but the receivables. Right? So all the points at least we can see here, it is the forensic investigators for the further details. They have to drill down and come out whether there is something or not. That is their job because we don't have that data in our hand.
So basically each of these parameters, I need to find out on that particular year, which is more than 2.25. In case it is more than 2.25, I need to cover, or it's basically the overall equation need to be over 2.25.
I normally suggest that it is always a cascading effect. If you can see here in 1 year the effect, obviously something will be there in this year also. The effect will be there. So carry forward will be there. And you can see 5,000, then 5,000 here also. If it is debtors outstanding 5,000 crore, can you survive? At least just 70% of the business is outstanding. Right? Money. If you are not getting the money, how will you survive to continue the business? Either it is not receivable. So it is outstanding. Is it the same debtor which is outstanding over the years? That question will come.
Okay, but here I don't see 2.25. It's 1.27 to 1.68. So that is an indicator. This 271.
Just can I take 1 minute? I just got a one urgent call. I'll request.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, I'll request people if they are if they can switch on their videos. It's not compulsory. It's appreciable because it encourages the speaker to understand that people are understanding, and it can be two-way interaction.
See, I have got one question here.
Just one sec. Satya will be back, so we will once he's back, we'll just give the question to him.
No, not for him as such. In generally, like in the group, since he's on the phone.
Yeah.
See, in the 2018, the debtors and net receivables are increasing almost double. Right. Now, auditor also would not have seen this aspect. The thing is that, most of the time, whenever such frauds are coming, always the question comes that what the auditor has checked. So here, when such a glaring increase is there, and year after year, like, 18 also, 19 also, more than 5,000 crore. And even in 20, it is again going up by another 20%. So the debtors levels are going up so drastically, and how auditor would have satisfied himself?
Yeah, that should have been captured in the auditor's note, a deep analysis on this. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, maybe
Yeah, the only thing I'll probably, and I have no idea of this specific case, but I might just come to the defense of an auditor to some extent purely from theory. As they always say, right, the auditor is not a bloodhound, he's a watchdog. A deep-rooted fraud will still not get picked up. So even if financial statements are audited, there is no guarantee that they are free of fraud. It is possible that they could be, and it may not have been detected despite genuine kind of procedures being adopted. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying this shouldn't be questioned. Obviously, your question, Dushyant Bhai, is very valid, and I'm sure some procedures may have been adopted. But it can typically be also kind of justified that the debtors, a lot of billings and a lot of revenues have been booked in the last month, and financial statements are prepared, say, a month later, and there isn't much time to ascertain if debtors have repaid, and hence the only option the auditor would have is to recognize that the sales did take place and whether the inventories did get depleted. If that's the case, beyond a point, additional procedures may be limited. Yeah, I mean, I'm just bringing up the theoretical aspect.
I think I just want to bring one more point in the whole thing. See, we are, as you said, that sometimes March month is always very, basically heavily loaded with sales and all. So actually, to see this, we should also see 12 months of September results. So September 18 and September 19 would, and if that logic also matches, then I think we can do some we can do some analysis.
Yeah, that's what actually I was suggesting, that if you get a granular, if you make a data series, like even if not 12 months, even if quarterly, then it will have a major impact, and you will see the graphical representation also. And
no, but your results are not out. No? The balance sheet doesn't come every quarter. But what you should do is 12 months ending September, like 12 months ending March is there. We should have a similar analysis, 12 months ending September. So then you will see whether the debtors are 5,000 crores or it's less.
No, but if you are doing audit of some company, of that company, if you ask them, they will provide that. The data is there. You just need to find it. Either you take the help of a IT person, who can, software person who can retrieve the data. That's what we do in the banks also. All you can ask. So, and if you like the contract, actually, they're in this while going through this case, Anfam. Mr. Satya Prakash was telling, and Mr. Aditya also asked that the contract, you need to see the supporting documents. Though the this receivables part has been changed, but whether actually they have gone that extent to change the contracts, no. So if you link that, then you will find the gap. So you need to find out the deeper. I just want to give one example here. One cooperative bank, what happened, they were giving loans to one particular group, real estate, right? But what they did, they changed the software package, that whenever the regulators or other people will ask, they will give that, okay, fine, instead of that 21,000 customers were given the loan, right? But how did they find? How did they find it out? Because when we got the whistleblower complaint, then we realize that okay, fine, okay, fine. It's if they are giving the loan to 21,000 customers and the loan is against FD, so let us check the risk weight component, right? So they have forgotten to change that risk weight, because if you are giving a loan against FD, the risk weight will be 0.
Right.
So, but they have given 100% because it's a real estate loan. So they themselves actually done the mistake. And even here also, if we don't, had we not received the whistleblower complaint, then we would not have gone to that small extent, right? So here, forensic audit is that. I mean, if you find out something, I mean, if this model, Bennis model is giving something indication, you have to drill down, like, or else, I mean, it's not. I mean, you if there is something red, you have to drill down to any extent. I mean, you can ask for contracts, you can speak to the person who is the team. I mean, out of five people, 4 of them are satisfied, right? One person will be the unhappy person. I mean, he can help you, I mean, some way. So that's how, I mean, that's my experience.
Yes, sir. Correct point. I'll come back. Correct
So,
points.
Satya, just one second. Ashwini, do you have any question? You raise your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few questions.
Yeah.
Aditya and Satya Prakash, if you look at the data numbers, all these are year-end numbers as in 31st March for our country, right? So that can be easily manipulated. मैं बोलूँगा कि मेरा सारा payment.
Do you think, sir, we are all chartered accountants? Do you think it can be easily manipulated?
Sir, मैं बोलूँगा सामने वाले को.
Nah, that's what. To be practical.
Sir, let me complete.
I am. Yeah, ठीक है.
मैं बोलूँगा मेरा सारा पेमेंट सर आप 31 मार्च तक कंप्लीट कर देना, फिर मैं आपको 1st-2nd मार्च से, जैसे आई एम अ फाइनेंशियल एनालिस्ट, आई गो एंड मीट कंपनीज, सो आई हैव सीन इन द बैलेंस शीट क्रेडिटर्स, डेटर्स, फिर एडवांसेस एंड अदर्स दिखता है सर बहुत जगह बैलेंस शीट्स में.
क्यों ऐसा होता है सर? Why it is like that? You are an analyst. That's why I'm wrongly. I'm asking like a devil's advocate now.
So that is what I'm asking. What they do is.
Why it is done?
सर एक जगह से पेमेंट ले लिया, फिर उसी को एडवांसेस बोल के दिखा देते हैं उन लोग.
Sir, why it is done? Just to manipulate.
Just to manipulate.
Exactly. Just to distort the correct picture. Why can't they show it just? Let me tell you one real example where they have shown it datas as well as one more line items and receivables. How is it datas? What is the difference between datas and receivables? This is there in the balance sheet signed by chartered accountant.
एक ही होता है सर दोनों.
So why they are showing 2 different line items?
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ, they're trying to manipulate. आप ये बोल रहे हो.
सर.
So
ठीक है सर.
वहाँ पे receivables कम दिखा देंगे and advances and others दिखा देते हैं वहाँ पे.
Right, sir.
So how do we tackle that?
Sir, that is what. Yeah, I'm coming to the second portion. This is the one part which you have seen through the Bennis model, that it is highlighting some of the areas. But being chartered accountant, I normally suggest to always use a skeptical mind for the purpose of analysis, which we are going to do in next 2 minutes.
And
yes, sir. Your second question.
दूसरे में था net sales by a cost of goods sold. Many people do it कि cost of goods sold का cost of goods है, वो नीचे other item में दिखा देते हैं, कहीं पे और दिखा देते हैं.
Yes, sir. But in the Bennis sheet is captured, sir. Just for information, I'm showing you here. You can see the cost of goods sold. This is a summary of the other costs, foreign fuel, employee cost, and other cost. So I'm considering that also.
Okay.
So that portion is covered, sir. That is what I have just enlarged this. Earlier model is small. You can see this is only the cost of goods sold, this much.
Okay.
But what are the items to be considered in the cost of goods sold, which I have just tried to cover?
This is basically your EBITDA or operating profit, which you have captured.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
So this was initially the hints given by the, or you can say red flags given by the Bennis model. What exactly, how a chartered accountant is going to read the numbers. So for your reference, I'm showing you the screen here. I hope the screen is visible now.
Yeah, it is.
Now looking at this data, how you are going to read the numbers. Can you try to find out some issues in the numbers? Come on. Now forget Bennis. Just looking at these numbers. Shall I reduce the size so you can have a better view, overall view? So, can you see the numbers now? Can you try to find out some issues? my focus again is from 2015 to 18. I'll keep my focus till 4 years only. 15 to 18.
सर 15 में कुछ एक्विजिशन किया है, सेल्स अचानक से बढ़ गया.
Yes, एक मर्जर है, इसलिए तो 15 के पहले का नहीं जा रहा सर मैं.
2018 there is inventory also increasing and debtors also increasing.
Correct. Sahi point, sir. Perfect point, sir. This is what I wanted to tell the people to understand. Now you can see sales. The moment is almost same, sir. In 4 years, only 100 crores, you can say 1000 crore movement, right? But here, look at the debtors. Debtors, huge movement. And also, there is a, let me color it out. And also, can you see the inventory?
ये सर फिर भी किस हिसाब से डिटेल्स जाएंगे सारी, फिर ये एज पर बुक्स है मैंने जो दिखाया ना.
Appreciate if you can keep your
जो है वो तुम्हारा काम नहीं है, तुम्हारा काम सिर्फ ये करके देना है 3B बस. दिल्ली का जो है वो मैं ऑडिट कर रहा हूँ.
Now you can see.
वो फिर डिफरेंस वगैरह देख करके.
Now what is the question? I hope now the picture is better clear.
डिफरेंस नहीं आना चाहिए कुछ भी.
In case you are not speaking, please keep yourself on mute. The speaker get disturbed. Thank you.
Thank you. Now you can see the picture here. Sorry. The sales, the movement in the sales. Now I'm just thinking if this much inventory is also there. So how much is this? When whatever sold, is it the inventory outstanding? So out of 8,000, so whatever, how much is the raw material consumed? 2,000. Raw material also, please focus at this point also.
So there's a drop in the raw material, but that is backed by the decline in the turnover also. So
you can
like
see
unless we have a percentage analysis, we won't be able to know that what exactly is the change.
Top line is growing, but raw material cost is declining.
Yes, so I'm just thinking if it is raw material is reducing, raw material, let it constant. I'm thinking if raw material is this much only, and if the inventory is this much, then what is sold? And if what is sold, then what is outstanding?
So you get inventory period.
And that is why other costs becomes very much important.
Rajesh.
क्लास 2 भी है, क्लास 3 भी है, मुझे लगवानी है क्लास 2 की यहाँ की.
Do you have any question, Rajesh? Yeah, go ahead, Satya.
So you can see here, I'm going from the starting. So what, for making any product, I need a raw material. So this much is the raw material. We know that the closing plus opening, closing plus additions minus sales is the closing stock. Simple logic. We all know. So what is this? So inventory. How much is the addition? 2,000. So 4,000 crore. And then how much? 2,000 again out inventory. So only 2,000 sold at 7,000. Or that is the picture.
Satya Prakash, this inventory might include both raw material inventory and finished goods. So उसका accounting अलग-अलग होगा.
Possible, but again, I'm just thinking from this perspective. Then what is sold? If I reduce this, assuming that only 50% is the finished goods, still the volume is huge.
So can we say that this is a fictitious sale?
Not exactly, sir, but I suggest because while reading a book, I just read in legal terms, we should not say something unless you know the numbers correctly. So you can say that we have a suspicion is there.
It's been audited and then we have to believe it. Is it?
Yeah, obviously. But while making the investment decisions, you have to rely on your own feelings also, because all the investments are subject to market risk.
So the commission to sell as selling agents has also come down. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean,
now you can see the moment. If the sales, so you can see commissions is also was almost same
and come down also from 17 to 18. So when you are saying
sales is increasing, normally commission will increase, but it is not. The same way, you can see a good look at the employee cost, power and fuel. If your sales are increasing, obviously your fuel will increase. Your raw material cost normally with the time lag, the cost will increase.
So
Right?
what is the right way if we if a suspicion arises in terms
Then
of
you have to ask for the data, sir. Normally, that
So
is what Deborah sir
investigation
already said. You have to ask for granular data for the purpose of further review.
So we need to contact the investor relation team only. That if you can just explain us, we are investor.
Uh, Probably they will not give you the granular data.
Otherwise, there is no other channel. I'm just trying to think in terms of a solution if we come across any such data point, because we are doing a very kind of far analysis. We are not even very close to the reality of this number.
100%, sir. The
Well,
money people.
I guess the tricky point is obviously as an ordinary investor, there's only limited you can do other than stay away if you see warning signs.
Yeah, I agree.
It's only if you are a kind of more closer to the company, like having a significant interest or have a kind of interest beyond a normal retail investor, then you can ask for information and you would have the muscle power to get it as well. Otherwise, as an ordinary investor, it's best to stay away.
Nobody will
And these increases, etc. I mean, the company can, as an investor, very well give you all kinds of reasons, like increase in price of your drug or selling price, which kind of increases all this, whereas expenses have remained flat. All kinds of reasons could be devised, and you have no option but to rely on that.
Just for information, I hope many people are aware about this. Every drug which is sold, that is either has at least 80 to 90% profit.
Yeah.
Because one hospital for which I have got an opportunity to review, they each medicine they will not procure unless there is a 40 to 50% margin. So if a hospital gets that much margin on the medicine, all those medicines, and it's a big hospital of Mumbai. That's
the reason behind why I ask this, because whenever we start looking at numbers, we certainly pause at least one or two numbers every time. Even a normal analysis, if we see something on a portal, we start thinking that how this can be, and then we drop the discussion, we change the company, we start looking at other stock. So this is how it actually goes.
That's what. So hopefully, let's see.
True. It's true actually how much is there on your plate. So if a number of companies you are auditing at the same time, then you may not focus on that properly. So if you are focusing on one company or two companies, then you can actually drill down. So that's the point. And this model is basically the objective is the same thing. I mean, if you get something red, then you will drill down. So that really reduces your time or the effort. So
Correct. Basically, focus area. The objective is the focus area.
Satyaji, is there any portal which does these types of analysis, automate it and present on monthly basis?
I think not seen, sir, but yes, I think some will be there, sir.
If I have to see whether any company has a score around 255, maybe beyond, or whatever is the present score generated by this model, although this is a statistical and it does not mean that red flags necessarily will exist, but I can say
sir, let me tell you, sir, this model can be created very easily by anybody within 5 minutes.
Yeah, but data input and checking every time.
This is sir, frankly speaking, you can see this data is simply copy pasted from moneycontrol.com. If it is a listed company, data is available.
I think
I simply copy paste it, and this
also, so that they can build in their dashboard.
Yeah, obviously they can do it very easily for everyone, sir. That, sir, important aspect is not the ratios. Important aspect is how you read those ratios.
Right. Thanks.
Numbers are there for everyone, but how people read those numbers, that makes a big difference. Let me give you one more example, which recently I came about to know. One chartered accountant, just obviously this is off track. One chartered accountant gave the network certificate, this network certificate for a company. The valuations, this property and all, one page they have given. 50-30 crores they have given. The forensic auditor asked for the details. What is the granular data? Means you said property is 10 crores. What is the details of the property? The CA has simply said that I don't have any data of that. I have returned everything to the company. Is it the correct answer from the chartered accountant's perspective? Ideally, we have to keep the data ready, means backup papers with us, right? Can a CA can say this, that they don't have any data, backup data? This is what something happens in case of audits also. If you ask for granular data, they will say, sir, we don't have anything. And that is the picture, that is bloodhound or a watchdog. Right, sir? And similarly, sir, you can see creditors also. The movement in the creditors. It is also increasing compared to your raw material. So you can see at one point of time, your creditors are more than your raw material purchased. So are they paid properly? So some points which we need to review from the investigation perspective for a better picture. And you can see cash from operations every year is negative, negative, negative. Again, it is a good indicator, right, sir? Hello.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Chaliye. I am taking to another example.
So do you have any kind of analysis on this company which can like has been the output of the forensic audit which has been triggered?
No, sir, I have not done. Luckily, I have not entered in that, in this company.
No, basically these are the indicators which ask us to do further due diligence on these companies, but that due
Right.
diligence, whether had been any outcome of it, is something.
Similar things we have done in the past in various companies. In our forensic audit, sir, because normally what I do, sir, I normally variables, we all know that these are just an indicators. So this helps me to frame my questions, to starting for questions. Let it be any company, listed, unlisted, doesn't matter. Second, we read the numbers. Practically, we read the numbers and try to correlate the numbers, because we all know ratios will speak better. So once you correlate them with the other numbers, then you can ask better questions and frame your questions. So that will be first part, because just looking, when you start a forensic audit, it will not happen that they will give you all the data upfront. So to first ask for raw data. Meanwhile, you can prepare your questions and you can ask them, put in front of the management. Then they will understand, are you able to read the numbers properly? If you are able to read the numbers properly, then they will carefully share the numbers with you, the data obviously, and accordingly you have to plan your audits. That is the first portion, just from the audited financial statements, because financial statements will give you only this much area, sir.
Okay.
Second portion that comes with, if you get a granular data, then you can go for sample audits, that is using the Benford law. That is the second portion. That is I have covered in the PPT. That is the Benford law. Basically transactional data. It reviews the transactional data based on the numbers, occurrences. And the third is the money trail. If you get all the bank statements, then you can try to prepare the money trail for the transactions. I have just kept some slides for that. How you can try to see the money trails. Different scenarios. And let me tell you, all these are real scenarios. And this is one of the best scenarios. So this ultimately the main objective is this money trail, because if you just say that number has been it is high, it is low, it is not that much effective unless you support that with some real investigation and fund flow. So unless you tell them where the money is moving, who are the ultimate beneficiaries, that is the money trail, nobody is going, means your case is not that much strong.
So do you call this as a money laundering?
You can say this way. But
Satya, I think you have mute yours.
the host has muted, yeah. Not exactly money laundering, but the objective is basically the manipulation. This is the best example. You can see company A has given 4 crores on 31st July. Yeah. Because one person asked this question, month end, quarter end, year end. 31st July, they paid to HDFC bank account of B. Company B. Company B transferred money to C. Obviously, I don't have bank statement for company A as well as company C. But luckily, I had the bank statement of company D, E. And I saw on the same day, another 4 crore has come from company C to company D. From company D, the same money has gone to company E. And then again, it reaches back to company B, but in another account, not in the same bank account. In another bank account, that is Axis Bank. And then it has been transferred, repaid to company A. So what ultimately has done in this case? Can anybody guess what has happened here? Why this kind of transaction has been done? Really difficult, right? Can you wild guess?
डेटर क्रेडिटर दोनों काम कर दिया.
सर पैसा सेटल कर दिया ना अल्टीमेटली. ए से लिया ए को वापस कर दिया.
दोनों काम कर दिया.
यस सर. तो फिर किया क्यों?
सर डेटर भी खुद का था, क्रेडिटर भी खुद का था.
सर तो किया क्यों? क्वेश्चन ये है कि why they did this stuff. This is what the ultimately toughest task.
क्लोजिंग पोजीशन क्लियर दिखाने के लिए.
इसका तो पोजीशन क्लियर ही था ना सर.
To increase sales.
ये no one knows money कहाँ से generate हुआ.
Money generate ही नहीं हुआ ना सर.
तो CBC
money move किया different sources से.
सर इसका बैकग्राउंड आपको दे देता हूँ सर. This is one of the again big company of India.
So it's a shell company transaction which has been done.
Yes. Basically earlier the money was paid to this company. It was outstanding, so it was paid. Means earlier it was other way around. Original routing was like this. Now at the month end, basically to close the accounts. So what they have done, retransferred the funds. So basically these are basically the closing entries. Earlier there was opening.
So earlier this used to happen with one bank only. Now since with the RTGS thing, it is happening with 2 banks.
Yes. So system has improved, no sir. So
people are taking benefit of it.
Yes.
On why on on the same date? I mean that's what had it been a different date?
You can see it can be a different date also, sir. It is not necessary.
I can change the amount also.
Yeah, 100%. You can see 16 crores were transferred and amount are original. Huh? Let me tell you one thing. I have not manipulated the amount. I have manipulated the date and the name. Amount is original. 16 crores transferred to another company, same company's another account from their related party transactions, same day, and next day to another bank again. So you can see another bank, and then it has transferred to customers. Right? So this is what in the money trail also we have to see. So ultimate objective of any forensic auditor is the beneficiary. If you are not able to find out the real beneficiaries, people will question. Means the conclusion will be difficult for anybody.
But can you tell me the reason why they have done this?
Which one, sir?
Why they are moving it from one company, one bank to another bank, and from listening to the ultimate payment?
Just to hide the, just to hide the true nature, sir. Let me tell you this part. To hide the true nature, because luckily I had the entire data. But I don't think even the forensic auditor, who is still doing this investigation, he will be having this entire data.
So basically you are trying to say that
even though it is
C may be your creditor and E may be your debtor.
Yes, sir. Basically earlier what the company has done, sir, they got this good money.
In related party, the transaction is done due to the increase of sales.
Yeah.
Okay, and thereafter they can take the money from the banks in the form of the loans. Okay, and thereafter this transaction is done to settle the transactions. This adjustment may be there.
Girish sir, justifications will come nature to person. It will may vary from person to person. Practically speaking, because all are intelligent people. So they will give the justifications as per the other person who is asking. Let me tell you one simple example, sir, from my own experience. One person is there who can confirm this. In one forensic audit, sir, it was a listed company. In our report, we simply mentioned, sir, you have not maintained books of accounts. Listed company. And they have not denied this fact.
So the books of accounts were not prepared at all.
I said simply bluntly, I said this, sir.
Okay, so it's like basically that Excel sheet format has been used.
I wanted to test the waters.
Okay, so basically it was to break the ice and start the discussion. You're talking about.
No, sir, I wanted to conclude whether that company is actually manipulating or not. Sir, I was
So what had been the outcome?
Sir, it was a manipulation.
Okay, but it was not definitely that there were no books of accounts. It was.
Sir, they are not sharing at all. No cooperation.
Yeah, that's.
So that is what we have to do, sir. That is why unless you do this money trail, people will not come on the table, sir. Even though you read all the balance sheet, even though you come out with the transactions, but unless you find out the real beneficiaries, people will not come down and tell you the truth.
So here, can you then give the final motives in all the three samples?
Sir, in this first sample, it was not exactly the motive, sir. Basically, to take out the money of this, it was a small transaction to take out the money from the company. They could have, my simple question is, if they wanted to, genuine course was there, sir, they could have done it from the first bank itself. Why they are routing through one to second to third, and then to the related party?
Correct.
If it is a genuine transaction, do it directly and make it a record of that.
Yeah, something fishy naturally. Because
yes, obviously, this itself shows it is there is something fishy, and you are creating so much layers. What is the objective of creating a layer?
Yeah. And what about sample 2?
Same thing, sir. Same objective. Here, though, they have done blatantly, yes, I can do it. Nobody is asking me. So 1 to 2 and then taken out. But to customer, then why they are paying customer from the third account? Again, same question. If it is a normal business, they could have, unless there is a direct business obligation that you have to pay it from one single account only, means from BOI only, then obviously you can do it. But otherwise, why routing from these accounts? They could have directly transferred to this.
Yeah, what was their explanation?
Sir, it was a business dealings, sir, not thought from that perspective.
Okay, simple.
Simple, sir. Explanation can come as innocent, sir. Here you can see third scenario is very much interesting, sir. In this scenario, there is no, basically they have simply paid because A and C are unrelated parties. So I don't have the bank data for A as well as C. I will say that I have received the money, so he is my creditor, means he is my customer. I have paid the money to C, he is my creditor.
Yeah.
So that's what my business dealing, job done. But luckily I had the other 3 bank accounts of D, E and B. I came to know, no, it is not that. It is a circular transaction which you have done to rotate the funds. For a normal person, it will be a simple line that I have received. So my customer paid my creditor.
But this could be the follow-up transaction of earlier such similar circular transaction.
Yes, 100%. It is that. It is that.
A reversal. It could be a reversal of an earlier transaction.
Yes. And sir, this is a small amount which I am saying. It's there are 6 transactions of around 250 crores each.
Yeah, and this kind of transactions, this deep-rooted, as I was trying to say, will not be possible for a statutory auditor also to unearth. It's just not possible without the evidence.
Sir, I can say I already said that. Literally, I will say that he is my customer, he is my creditor. I received, I paid. What is the issue? No issue. I got the money, I immediately paid. It is our business practice. Such explanation will come, sir. That is there. Only thing is that unless you drill, you will not come to know this. You will not come to know this and this.
But I must say that they are quite efficient. Sample 3.
You can say, sir. Right?
Hi everyone. Veena here. I would like to share my experience. I have worked for a mutual fund, and I was too junior that time. I was freshly qualified CA and I was too junior. But I have seen the fraud happening in front of my eyes. What had happened was the mutual fund money was taken out to some of the group companies, and the amount was routed to some other group companies, and part of the amount was taken back into the mutual fund just to show that some bad investments were there of those mutual funds. So that amount has been the amount was shown as received from against those bad investments. So that was one motive, and second was to fund the other group companies. That was another motive. So there were various routings done. So that amount was taken out from mutual fund and it was utilized for those particular motives. Thank you.
So you can see there are so many things which we have already have some experience about this. So routings will be there. It's how much you can drill down. That will again depends on how much data is in your hand.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to add something. See, this round tripping is done actually, and we actually in our inspections also we usually find it out. The round tripping, that too, for some kind of NPA, for on the 89th day or 90th day. So to avoid that, you come up with the money. But the sample 3, actually, I'm really inquisitive to know. It's not on the same date they are transfer. They are just it's like A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, and the same day the same money. I mean, there is no reduction or no addition of money. And so what is their objective? I mean, if you can just little bit explain that what they have come up with, any particular answer, or if you get something that this is something fishy, definitely.
Sir, we will discuss separately.
Okay, fine.
Sir, I have got a question.
Sir, because sir, let me tell you one thing, sir. Some things we cannot discuss in the forum. Sir, yes, Dinesh sir.
Sir, can I speak? Can I speak now?
Yes, sir, please.
Sir, I would like to know, there are so many companies who invest in mutual funds of so many, so many mutual funds. Like if you see Aditya Birla Group, they invest in some mutual funds. Now those mutual funds again reinvest in some other companies of Birla Group companies. It's rerouted another way. Now this type of investigation must take place. I think I am asking these questions in the AGM every year, that you invest in mutual funds, and if you see the balance sheet of investments, they exit some mutual fund and invest in some other mutual fund, and that same mutual fund through some other scheme invest in some other company of that same company. See this circular trading, how to investigate properly.
Vinak, I would like to put some light on this, because you are from mutual fund industry. So
because in foreign countries, what happens, sir? The basically the operational part is shown separately and the investment part is shown separately. Here we mix up everything, so it's very difficult, to get a trail of all these things. Everything is mixed and merged in India.
I'm sorry, I missed your question. I was not that attentive.
What happens is, I'll tell you, if you open a balance sheet, there are investments. Now investments are made in mutual funds. Now those mutual funds reroute the same fund to the other group company of the same group which has invested, the investee company. They invest, the same mutual funds invest in some other scheme. They take in one scheme, invest in another scheme, in some other, they buy shares. If you see the portfolio of the mutual fund, you will find that. So there is a mix-up. And that constitutes, according to me, in some companies, that investment constitutes nearly 40% or 50% of the capital employed. So huge chunk. And the other income is not in line with the investment which we make. Now this circular trading goes on. A invests in B mutual fund, B mutual fund gives it to B A mutual fund, B C mutual fund, B C mutual fund invests in again A group companies of some other name. Like Aditya Birla invests in some mutual fund. Now they invest in Hindalco. They invest in Ultratech that way. They have got shares of in Hindalco. They have got shares of Ultratech. So this setting is done. I will invest from my surplus cash company to in your mutual fund. You invest in our other companies. Now this setting is done. Now how to investigate and how to find out all the trails of all this? Very difficult.
Sir, Veena, would like to put something light on this?
See, one way could be to go into the basic prime books of entries. For example, like the basic bank statements, what is appearing in bank statements and what entries are passed. So we could find out from. Sorry, I'm not audible.
No, you are. Continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could go into basic prime books of entries. So what is appearing in bank statement and what is actually entered in the books. So I mean, that's what is my experience, that we used to have some entries in bank statement, whereas the amount is shown as received from some other company in the books of entries, in the books. So some different entries were passed. So amount is received from X party and amount is shown as received from Y party. So something like that is done.
Veena ji, I'll take it to other way.
Yeah.
Dinesh, to answer your question, I'll take your question to other way. Sir, why we are doing? Why they do this? Ultimately, you support me, I will support you. That is the objective. I cannot invest directly in my company because that will be some red flag for somebody, some regulator. You are promoting your own companies. So I will invest in your company, you invest in my company. That's what, sir. That is a simple philosophy. So
only regulator can do in it, because even if
right, sir, right. Only the regulator, the boss can do this. Else, normal public, you cannot do anything. Even though you ask a question or try to become some whistleblower, output will be zero because legally it is allowed.
Yes, very correct. In the sense, we
That's
could find out from, since I was working for that company, I could know about it. But as an outsider, somebody would not know about it. And it's very difficult to find out also.
Aditya wants to say something on this.
No, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So even if we know it, we can't do anything of it.
Practically, sir, you can do everything, but practically no effect will happen.
Okay.
So can we be a whistleblower to any place?
Will it be captured in related party disclosures?
No, they are not related party, no.
But under Index, the related party or this definition is very wide. If you have control
Still they are not related party. No, Aditya Birla and Reliance both are two different companies. They are not related party.
Okay.
There are so many loopholes also. So, I mean, management takes care of those loopholes. Take care of these things, and those loopholes they find out, and they try to avoid such transactions through such companies which are officially related parties.
See, I mean, this mutual funds, they come up with a mandate, right? So I'll invest this money, your money on this, suppose mid cap or small cap or this thing. And suppose I mean, I'm just giving you one way of, I'm not into that industry. Suppose it's a blue chip, I mean, the mutual funds objective is to, invest in the blue chip companies. So now if you have to, as an auditor, you can see that, okay, fine. I mean, this is, though this company is a sister company of that mutual fund, but it's not a blue chip company. So why these particular mutual fund who has collected the money from the public to invest in blue chip companies, but he has not that mutual fund has not invested in that blue chip company, instead of invested in the sister company. So that can be a catch point. But otherwise, if it's a, suppose SBI blue chip company, or I mean, suppose a SDFC blue chip mutual fund, it's about blue chip. Whether whether it is investing in Infosys or in Reliance, right? Both of them are blue chip companies. So there is no point. You cannot find it out. I mean, you cannot raise a finger that okay, why he has invested in Reliance, not Infosys. Okay. So
Yeah, actually that is what, when the mutual fund makes investment into any company through any fund, then that fund has some investment philosophy. So one auditor has to see that whether the investment is within that their framework.
Hello.
That's what I said. I mean, that's the objective. You need to, the bottom line, you need to check whether it is a small cap or mid cap, and how, where the money has gone. That's all. I mean, or else if it is under that mandate, then you cannot raise a finger. Like suppose I give the example, SDFC and sorry, Infosys and Reliance are both the blue chip company. Now, whether it is I am a mutual fund and whether I am investing in Reliance or SDFC Bank, so it's my call. And if I am, suppose I am handing gloves with Reliance, and suppose I am giving that money Reliance invested in Reliance, so that that money can be utilized further. That is none of my business. I mean, I'm not into that. I mean, what he is doing with that, I mean, that money. So.
Hello. I don't think this is possible. I'll tell you why. Basically, because even if whatever the fund is, they say that they proclaim that they will be investing in the blue chip or the mid cap or small cap or whatever. All the thing is the prime investment would be in this thing. So around 50% or maybe 30% or 40% will be in that prime prime category which they have been announced. But rest of the funds they can invest anywhere. So they always have that leeway for all this jugglery.
Yeah, very correct. There are some percentages prescribed. So those percentages are scrupulously being followed, but the still funds are available for manipulative purposes, which is covered in the balance percentage.
Yeah, that's why SEBI came out with this recent guidelines that about this mid cap. I mean, I don't recall the exact this thing, but they have to statistically mention. Otherwise, they were playing with this mid cap and small cap definition. So recent guidelines from SEBI are just to address that problem.
Okay. So Lokesh, you have any question? You raise your hand.
Hello. Yeah, hi,
Lokesh.
hi, Aditya. Hi, Satyaprakash ji. Great presentation. Just a question on the M score, the Benish model, which you explained. In your experience or in your readings, what is the accuracy or the success of this model? Getting you closer to a success rate of a doubt in a company, or
it is, sir, till now it is at least 90% successful.
Oh wow, that's 90% successful.
Yes, sir.
So in an overview, when you look at the variables in this model, and if this model is highlighting that there is something suspicious, you can be 90% confident that there is something.
Obviously, sir. Yes, but only thing is that you have to consider the limitation in the mind.
Sure. No, so where I'm coming from is I'm a financial investor. So for us, it's either yes or no. Maybe is a very gray area which we cannot really afford. That's where I'm coming from, and that's why I just wanted to understand what was the accuracy of this model.
Only thing is that you have to just read the numbers carefully and to get as much support as possible. That's what I can suggest.
Sure.
Because just looking at the numbers, it's really difficult to confirm that it is 100% or no. But yes, chances are that number is something is wrong is there. Otherwise, number will not be that way. You can, in this case also, we have seen this in Sun Pharma case. You can see inventory as well as the debtors and compare with sales and raw material consumed. You can see the difference. It's glaring. So obviously, company will be having some explanation.
Right. And just to make a small contribution from my end and for everyone's knowledge, I just want to share my experience with this company called Quality Limited. In particular, what I want to share is that we should not really be trusting, even when the when reputed companies have either prepared a strategic plan for companies that we are investigating, or private equity has shown a confidence in investing in structured products for companies that we are investing, I think investors would have made a really big mistake by trusting the accounts of Quality Limited on the back of one of the big four approving their strategic plan, and one of the private equity investors investing in their structured products. So
let me give you
Sure.
one simple example, sir.
Sure.
In India's one of the biggest I will say, the builder. His books were audited by Big Four, right? And
Right.
just before the fraud, means says till 2016, it was 2014, it was audited by Big Four. In 2015, it was audited by last four.
Okay.
And in that year, the fraud was detected.
Correct. So same.
So is it the same? Is it the same thing that fraud has happened in 2015?
Yeah.
Or it was happening since years?
So what happened was the private
So it
equity
is-
investor invested in the structured product, and in the next year you had an entry in loans and advances saying advances to suppliers of the amount more or less equivalent to what the private equity investor invested. Surprisingly, this is a company, it's a dairy-based business, wherein your suppliers are your farmers. The rationale given for these advance to suppliers of such a huge amount was these people have contracted supplies up to, so this was in 2018, and they said that we have contracted supplies for the next 3 years. So we are paying in advance. So it's a model where you pay a farmer every day and you take the milk. They are saying that we have paid advance of some hundreds of crores to suppliers for the next 3 years. We book sales. So
practically not possible.
Yeah. So what I just wanted to highlight was not to trust, even if there are big companies who have either prepared a strategic plan or invested, just to maybe one of the models that you've highlighted, like the Banish model, it's very helpful. And if you and you're saying that the accuracy is good, so I think that it is better to rely on these things rather than the confidence of the investors.
So Satya, is there any other model which we can rely on, or is it compulsory that we need to? So there are two questions basically. The other one is basically, is it compulsory to use this model whenever you are doing a forensic audit?
No, I will not suggest that.
Okay.
To start with, for any forensic audit, I'll suggest this you can use as a starter, but ultimately you have to rely on your own skeptical mind. Basically, your chartered accountant skills.
And
read the numbers carefully.
And is there any other model which people can rely on, which?
Yes, 2-3 more are there. You can Google that, similar to Banish, but this is a more easy and simplest one which you can use it.
Okay.
Satya, I have one question. Since all of us are not only professionals, some of them are practicing chartered accountants also. So just wanted to know how, this, if you look at the banks, PSU banks, I think a lot of their investors or investee companies are, wherever they have given money, I think there might be, such kind of issues. So definitely there must be, they also must be directing these companies to do forensic audit. So how, you get the mandate for, this is for the benefit of the practicing chartered, because all of us need to earn also out of, such kind of products. So how you get to know about the forensic, what are the time and cost analysis? So how much time you spend and how much, normally people charge for a single mandate? An
It's all
average
again
mandate.
depends company to company it will be.
Yeah.
Basically how they appoint. Basically
yeah.
empanelment process is there. So
Right.
they will select the company from, the firm from that empanelment, and you have to quote. Now the
Okay.
L1 is creating a big trouble for
Right.
forensic also, because the
Right.
quality of the output report is very much, no comment on that. So
Yeah.
you can understand that.
True.
So simple rule, garbage in, garbage out.
But how much time you take and how many people are involved? Normally, say on 1,000
It again
crore, or
depends
is it that?
Depends on the size of the company. If it is a smaller size, three people are sufficient.
Okay.
Larger
Say from
size.
your experience, say some of your name without giving names. What kind of people you have involved? How many people? What qualifications?
We are a team of 6 people, sir. Let me tell you,
Okay.
6 people, 3 chartered
Okay.
accountants, 1 system audit experts, and
Okay.
2 are basically one is the data entry person and 1 is the IT person
Okay.
who does all
Okay.
the backend activity for us.
Right.
So like that, we do this process. So it becomes
Okay.
easy. So the roles are decided, divided.
Okay.
So and the task which is, let me tell you, our process, like other firms, we do each work is done by a separate person, and that is monitored by some other person.
Okay.
So no one is going to, you don't know.
Kind of.
Yes, no one A what is he's doing A don't know what B is doing.
Right.
And that is all controlled by D.
Right.
That is all. So means confidentiality and other things are maintained. So that's how we normally do. Like we say in the big case of Big Fours.
Yeah. I think Big Four have got that assurance business similar to that.
Sir. So personally, TK sir, they are good people.
Yeah, Satyaprakash, I have one question. See, normally, if you are getting some, direction from, suppose a regulated entity has been directed by a regulator, that you have to come up with this forensic audit. Okay.
Sure.
Now they are approaching you. That's okay, fine. If a company itself is approaching you, then what are the objectives actually they give you? Like, suppose.
This is the case of this scenario I got only because the company gave me the assignment. Sample 3 I got only because the company gave me the assignment, so I got broader picture than any other person. So basically they wanted to prepare themselves for the report against the regulator who are investigating outside.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thanks.
So basically they wanted to know their own lacunas.
Achha.
So how to defend themselves.
Okay, it's the other way around.
Right, sir. So it's all up to them how they want to do the acting.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. So Aditya ji, I'll rest the session for you.
The meeting will end. Thank you so much.